So guys, let's see if we can use the Geogebra to make up a graph histogram from grouped data. Do the same as before. What we're going to do is go to View, open the spreadsheet. In the spreadsheet, we need to put some information. Now, the example that you have is from 3 to 4, so you could put 3 to 4 here, 3 to 4. If you do that, it looks at it as if it's a sum. It's a mathematical calculation, and you don't want that. So what we really need to do is we don't need to use this, but we can keep this here for our information for later. If I want to keep it as a reference, I can put apostrophe 3-4. And then when I press enter, it stays there. It sees it as a text and says, well, don't calculate with this. Now, the other ones are 4 to 5 and so on. Now, you don't need to have these for the purpose of what we're doing. What we really need is the second column, which is the frequencies. 3, 6, 5, 4, and 2. And what we want to do is take these frequencies and we want to calculate with it. Now we're going to do several steps here, so follow this. Go to one variable analysis. See these scores here and you say, okay, analyze. It doesn't help us, all this stuff comes up. What we can do now is adjust the data. We have a look at the mean. This is the statistics for it, one variable statistics. Now it's got the number of scores. It gives you the mean, the standard deviation for population and sample. It gives you the sum of the scores and so on. A whole lot of things, but only for those scores there. Not very useful. What I can do is change the histogram. I can make it that it's going to be a histogram, but I want to change the thicknesses, the bars, all sorts of things here. When we press this again, let's change it from those simple bars to classes with frequency. Because the first class we wanted was from 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5, and so on. Let's do class with frequency. And then press that frequency. You've got the hand to say, okay, add selection, and it will take our frequencies here and put them into that column. And then what's happened now is we have classes. Not the classes we wanted, but classes. And down the bottom you can see it tells you where to start and how wide the bars need to be. Well, we want to start at 3. So go to start, type 3. The width, well, we do need 1. So 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and so on. Now there's other things that we can do here. All right, we're going to leave that. Analyze. And notice that now it's taken those scores and used those frequencies with the scores that we now have down the bottom. Now, when that's okay, you can do a few other things. I see the statistics here. If you want to keep that, record it, you can do a screenshot. Have to learn how to do more with this. You can go to these buttons here. Now, you've got options. You can say how do you want the boundaries defined, less than or equal to and less than, or the other way around. So is the lower number included or not? You can make it a histogram, frequency table, so on. I want just the histogram for the moment. And then this button here, which looks like a box with an arrow coming out, is that you can do something with it. Click on that, left click, and you've got options. Copy to graphics view, copy to the clipboard, or export as a picture. When we copy to the graphics view, it's dynamic and we can change things. So I want to do that. Let's go. Now I want to close this. I have to work out how to save this for later, but I want to close that. And now we have our data represented as a histogram on our graphics view. And so now do what we did last time. Click in here somewhere and you can see we have all the functionality of the graphics view. I want to reduce this, move it around so that I can see what I want. And it's getting there. So let's do all the things that we did last time. Change the font size. Options. Font size. Let's go for 20. I want to make sure that everything is as it should be. I don't want this extra part at the front because I'm starting at 3. I really need a broken axis. I don't want to see any negative for the x's or y's, so I want to change that. So I want to adjust the graphics view. Let's right click out here. We get the options for the graphics view. Okay, I would like to start the x's. Now, let's say we start the x's at 0. And the maximums, because you saw our numbers went to 9, maximum can be 9. For the y's, the y's are our frequencies, and the minimum, look, we need 0, and we want to go at least up to 6. So let's take 0, and let's say we go to 8. Now you want to show the axes and so on. All right, now things have moved around. So let's move the graphics view around. We get it so we can see what we want. These numbers aren't very clear, so let's go options, change the font size. We'll go to 24. A bit bolder. Move it up a little bit. Again, like last time, this A equals 20 is the sum of the frequencies. It's in the way here. It's confusing. So right-click in the algebra view on object A, and we just say, show the label? No. Now I want to go back to the graphics view. So click somewhere outside. No, go to select, move, right-click, and get to the graphics view. For the x-axis, I'd like to have positive direction only. The distance, like this is 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. Well, the distance, I'd like it to be 1s. Now the label, we're talking about, I can't remember what we're talking about. We'll check the label in a minute. The y-axis, again, positive direction only, and we want to go from 0 to 7. Distance in 1s. Back to the basics. Y's starting at 0. Okay, I can make that 7. 8. Now for the y-axis, let's put a frequency label on that. For the x-axis, it was number of lobsters. Sorry, the length of lobsters. And the unit we used was centimeters. Now what I really want to do, this is very, very important. It gives me an option, crossing at a certain value. Of course, now my graph, my histogram has a big gap at the front, which is in the way, it's awkward. I want to change that. So we go back to the graphics view and we change the properties. And I'd like it so that the x-axis crosses at 2. So it's just in front of where we want. And you fix that up again. Undo what we just did. Try again. Graphics view. The x-axis crossing at 2. Y-axis crossing at 0. Right, when we're at the graphics view again, the x-axis, I want the x-axis to cross the y-axis at 0. I want the y-axis to cross the x-axis at 2. Very important. And you notice that it looks very different. Now this is basically what I would like. Let's move the graphics view so that the y-axis is a little bit lower. We've got room for a title at the top. Put a title in. Text box says length of lobsters. You say okay. If you want, we can go double click on that. We can change things like the color or whatever. We'll sort that out in a second. Now over on the side, if I right click object properties, then I can have the text. I can make it bold, I can make it larger, medium, and there we go. Again, right click object properties, and I would like to have a different color. You could pick what color? Lobsters, nice red. There we have it.